New York officials have called the brutal attack of several NYPD officers by a man wielding a hatchet an act of terrorism.
This was a terrorist attack, certainly.
Visiting websites that are focused on designated terrorist groups, Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Al-Shabaab.
According to police, the suspect in the attacks, 32-year-old Zale Thompson, read up on beheadings and the death of a soldier outside the Canadian Parliament before the attack Thursday. Thompson injured 2 officers before being shot dead in Queens. Law enforcement now believes Thompson acted alone, but the entire NYPD force was advised to be on high alert because of what unfolded in Ottawa, Canada. In what is being called another homegrown terror attack, 32-year-old Michael Zahoff-Bibo shot and killed Corporal Nathan Cirillo at a war memorial outside Canada's Parliament building. It's believed Zahoff-Bibo acted on his own as well, though he tried to secure a passport to leave Canada and would teach the word of Islam to residents of the homeless shelter he was living in, according to Canada's National Post. His past was riddled with drug addiction. The potential for these attacks led U.S. authorities to warn police, soldiers, and members of the media that they could become targets for domestic attacks carried out by ISIS supporters. Originally, ISIS fighters focused on gaining territory in Iraq and Syria. But since U.S. airstrikes against the group began a month ago, ISIS propaganda has included calls for solo attacks by supporters in the West. Officials warned police forces and journalists they could become targets for these lone wolf attacks in a release from the FBI and Department of Homeland Security a little more than a week before the hatchet attack. The release cites communications from ISIS that urged Western supporters to attack police and soldiers, reminding them they could attack without first seeking advice from the organization. Former National Counterterrorism Center Director Matthew Olson warned in September that ISIS operates the most sophisticated propaganda machine of any current terrorism group, meaning it's possible that an ISIS sympathizer could conduct a limited self-direct attack here at home with no warning. Despite these earlier warnings, federal officials have not confirmed the NYPD's assertion of the hatchet attack as an act of terrorism. Instead, they have referred to Thompson as anti-government and anti-police. NYPD officer Kenneth Healy remains in the hospital in serious but stable condition after the attack. His colleague, Officer Joseph Meeker, was discharged from the hospital on Friday. For Newsy, I'm Madison Burke.